everyone. Very good morning. You've tuned into Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Mubina Kabasi. Market's doing pretty well. We have 135 points clocked in for the Nifty. The Sensex as well is gaining roughly about 400 points. Yes, almost 480 points. So we are doing pretty well on the markets. And across the sectors, we are seeing green on the screen. So second day of summer 2076 and the gains do continue. But where exactly is it then that you are seeing the most gains? Let's understand that as we usually do in Market Fatafat. We have with us our team of researchers, Pranay and Soumya joining in. And on the technicals, we are also joined by Hemen of KR Choksi Securities. So good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining in. And Pranay, let's start off with you. We've got to start off with the big mover of not just the Mahura trading day, but today as well, and that's Tata Motors. The second quarter numbers have given the street a reason to cheer.
Yes, Mubina, and you're seeing that for the second straight day, the strong rally has continued, and based on the recovery that we've seen in JLR, beating analyst expectations, they have raised their estimates for the next year. This year, it's modestly moved up, but for next year, it's vastly improved in their model, and therefore you have brokerages like CLSA, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Axis Capital, all upgrading the stock. The fact that promoters are also looking to participate in the fundraising at a price of 150 per share and also through warrants is something that is given a thumbs up.
Okay, that of course is the big surge seen in Tata Motors. It was 20% higher on Mahura trading day, and today it's continuing that rally, 167 rupees. Now, Soumya, let's come across to you. Bharti Airtel. Now, it was supposed to come out with its second quarter numbers today, but it has deferred the same to the 14th of November. Of course, the big bolt has come in the form of the Supreme Court AGR ruling. So what next for the company? What's the next step?
Well, Mubina, definitely this one's was in focus on the back that they had their earnings today, but they've deferred it to November 14th on back of the fact that companies saying that they need more clarity on AGR ruling. In fact, they've approached the Department of Telecom seeking clarity on the total amount that is involved that they might have to pay additionally. In fact, they've also requested DOT to see for the support to deal with adverse outcome of this AGR ruling. So let's see what's the update is, and the company would definitely come out with their outcome of the board meeting today itself, and let's see what exactly is in store for them.
That is, of course, the view coming in on a Bharti Airtel. Remember, the telecom stocks have been having a tough going, especially since that Supreme Court ruling today as well. Both Vodafone and Airtel are deeply in the red. Hemen, let's go across to you then. You know, the Tata stocks certainly have had a great Diwali today as well. You put your finger on any of the Tata stocks and they are surging. Look at Tata Steel. It's a 7% surge coming in after very long, after many days of weakness in the stock price. Do you think that there is room for more up move?
Very good afternoon to you. Yes, I think there is room for some more up move. Stock has posted a 3-month high. We are in a short and medium term uptrend, and I think we are sustaining above 380. So outlook remains positive. Hold stop loss 380, target 405, and 405 is a moderate target. I think that can be upgraded also.
Okay, that is Tata Steel for you, a hold and a target at 405 rupees. Of course, the big news maker over the weekend has also been Reliance Industries. It has decided that it's going to set up a new unit for digital platform initiatives, and it's going to infuse more than 1 lakh crore rupees in this new digital platform unit. Now, of course, brokerages have come out with their opinion. HSBC believes that it is essentially a reorganization strategy. Morgan Stanley believes that there won't be any holding company discount that will emerge in Reliance Industries. And of course, on the back of this news, we did catch up with Probal Sen from Centrum Broking, who says that this is another step taken by Reliance to reduce the debt for the parent company and, of course, expanding the company's digital business. Listen in.
I think one of the things that has been mentioned in terms of communication from the company as well is that if globally, if you really look at it, digital platform companies have little to no debt on their books more often than not. And I think the attempt really is to create a similar company and pretty much position the digital services business of Reliance as much more than just being a telco. And I think that's probably the broad message. At the group level, at the consolidated level, obviously the debt doesn't change much. But what it does is actually free up debt from the main digital services entity by the creation of this new wholly owned subsidiary, which will have negligible debt on the books and therefore is much better positioned as an opportunity for any strategic investor to come in or even for the eventual listing.
Okay, 2.5% higher for Reliance Industries, 1470 rupees. Well, we've just concluded this year's Diwali and festive season until Christmas, of course, and it looks like the takeaways are pretty positive because after a prolonged period of slowdown, there seems to be a bit of a pickup in sales, especially in the auto sector. Pranay?
Well, yes, and that's what the industry body has said, that from the period of Navratri through Dussehra and up till Dhanteras, passenger vehicle sales have picked up. We had seen an improvement, but a good deal of pickup is what has been witnessed compared to last year, and that is something which is spurring optimism in passenger vehicle counters such as Maruti, Suzuki. It augurs very well for Mahindra and Mahindra as well as Tata Motors, which I mentioned earlier. So it seems that passenger vehicles pickup has been better compared to the two-wheelers. That's what the industry body is saying.
All right. That clearly has been the case. And, we did see some news that Mercedes as well announced with respect to a massive surge, 600 car bookings that they have registered in the period of Dhanteras. Okay, let's move on and bring on board our next question, or rather our next stock, and that is Marico. Stock price is tanking and how more than 6% gone. Soumya, how were the second quarter numbers?
Well, Mubina, they were clearly on the top line front. They were a miss from what the street was expecting. Even the profits were in line, and this was mainly on account of one-time impact that the profit saw, which actually helped them, bump up the profits slightly. Not just this, the margins were above, but this was primarily on account of the lower raw material input costs, and this aided the margin expansion. But from here on, today's downfall is on account of the volume growth. Well, the street was expecting a volume growth of 4%, wherein it came at around 1%, which was very muted. Definitely telling us there is definitely a consumption slowdown, and not just this. Going forward, also their key segments, which is Saffola, hair oil, and VHO, how these segments fare is a key concern for all the street and the investors. Let's see how the numbers come in the subsequent months, and is there a consumption pickup. But as of now, the numbers are weak, primarily revenue miss.
All right, 6.5% gone for Marico in trade. And another stock that's declining, you could say perhaps that it's the Telecom influence on Bharti Infratel, but it's tanking 5.5% and may once again slip below 200 rupees. Hemain, your view here?
Sorry, could you just repeat the stock, please? I couldn't hear you.
And Hemain. Hemain, that's Bharti Infratel. That's the stock.
Yeah. Sorry. We are in a short, medium, and long-term downtrend actually. On all counts, you look at the time frame, daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart. We continue to make lower top, lower bottom. So, frankly speaking, I don't think there's much of an option. You just need to sell. The way it is tanking, despite an oversold situation, further downside just cannot be ruled out.
There could still be further downside, despite the fact that there is an oversold situation in Bharti Infratel. So, be very wary. Okay, another result reaction has come in the form of ICICI Bank. Stock price has just in the last couple of minutes seen quite a surge of almost about 1.61% now. Okay, how were the second quarter numbers? Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag. You had the profit after tax that came in below expectations, but that's only because of a one-time adjustment. Otherwise, your net interest income came in line with expectations. Jefferies as well has said that it has shown steady growth in the second quarter, and hence they have maintained a buy target at 545 rupees per share, so more upside from here. Furthermore, we also do have Macquarie that has maintained an outperform as they believe that the numbers are fine on many fronts. Of course, the gross addition to watch list remains a key monitorable. UBS has a buy target at 570 rupees. So all in all, brokerages continue to remain optimistic. Okay, and Pranay, for Indigo, how were the second quarter numbers? Is there any updates over there?
Well, actually, the numbers were well below expectations, and we've seen the biggest ever loss for the largest carrier. So all the analysts have downgraded their estimates on profitability for this year. Also, the commentary has been that Q3 will hardly see any pickup, so more or less it's going to be flattish, and perhaps there could also be some pressure on yields given the high capacity in the industry, which made Indigo revise its capacity addition guidance even lower. But the reason why it is in news today is because the regulator DGCA has said that with regard to the issues which is being seen with the Pratt & Whitney engines, and particularly those which have had flying of over 3,000 hours, the carrier should actually replace it for 16 of their A320neo aircraft. Failing which, in the next 15 days, they could actually ground those aircraft. So that's something which will weigh on Indigo, the stock, right now.
All right, that is Interglobe Aviation 2.5% gone. And Soumya, Pfizer Limited, is it once again a good quarter for this company?
Well, yes, yet again, good quarter for the company. Revenues saw a good jump of over 9%. Well, interestingly, profits saw a massive jump of over 61% on a YY basis, and definitely was ahead of the street expectations. Not just this, even the margins saw a good expansion from 26% to 29% on a YY basis. And in fact, the shares rose most in almost 7 weeks in the Diwali Muhurat session. And today, also, if you look at the stock prices, it's soaring high, rising close to about 5% to the in-trade.
Okay, 5.5% high, in fact, almost touching 4,000 rupees. Pfizer certainly is a great outperformance story. Let's look at the RWI small case and see what that one's up to. Any significant move seen over there on the second day of summer 2076 as the Nifty and the Sensex surge. And RWI small case as well is surging 1%, close to 1% at 560. So great going. On that note, we'll take a very quick break right here on the show. Do come right back as we'll continue the countdown. Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's continue with the countdown. And Hemen, look at the way Motherson Sumi is surging. Yes, you did have that Brexit delay, but I think that's left investors in Motherson unperturbed. It's a 10% rally here. Your observations?
Yes, I think most of the auto-related stocks are doing well, and absolutely right. Motherson Sumi has done well, and yes, I think it's going to do well for some more time. Once again, 2.5, 3 month high. We've given a breakout of sorts. It's formed a double top. It's formed a double bottom. Hold with a stop loss of 118 with a target of 128, and the hold is only because we have moved more than 15% in the past few weeks. Otherwise, on a decline, it would be a buy. We are in a medium and a short-term uptrend. A close above 128 would mean an upside probably till 138 and 145. So stock looks good. Further upside, very much possible.
Okay, so Hemen's quite optimistic on the stock. Further upside is possible. Moving on, let's talk about a stock we don't talk about very often, but results do warrant a discussion on this one, and that one is Honeywell Automation. Delivered its numbers over the weekend, over the Diwali weekend, and the stock is more or less quiet in trade. Remember, it essentially provides automation and software solutions. It is listed on both the NSE, BSE. It's a process solutions and building solutions provider, mostly catering to the auto sector. And interesting to know that the numbers are pretty okay. There has been a growth on the top line and the bottom line. Revenue has come in at 828 crores and the profit after tax at 120 crores. Stock price, however, declining by about 0.5%. Okay, Pranay, let's talk about Piramal Enterprises. It has been in the news, especially post the fundraising activity. What's the latest here?
Well, the fact that its investment in Shriram Transport Finance could get unlocked as Shriram Capital is looking to merge Shriram Transport Finance as well as Shriram City Union Finance with itself, and therefore it could provide an exit not just to Piramal Enterprises but also TPG Capital. It's well reported that it's in the middle and advanced stages of development. So something on this front could be announced in the next 1 to 2 months, and that's an important development to watch out for Piramal Enterprises.
Okay, 5.5% higher for this counter. And Samya, let's talk about HPCL. OMCs, of course, have been the cynosure of all eyes. What has Macquarie said about the company?
Mubina, this is a very positive move by Macquarie. They said that while even though the stake sale in HPCL may not be an active discussion today, but never the government's entire divestment agenda actually keeps and has a significant upside to the stock from here on. And as a result, they've also increased their target price for HPCL to nearly 500 rupees per share. And they say that there might be significant expansion, or probably there might be an expansion in the margins as of now. So it's a very positive note saying that they really see a good upside from here, and they're maintaining their stance as far as HPCL is concerned.
All right, 3% higher. But Himen, BPCL, continuing a conversation with OMCs, that one's come sharply off the day's high. But, nevertheless, the momentum has been very positive. Do you think it could continue the up move, or now it will take a bit of a breather?
Frankly speaking, we are in the midst of a breather because after posting the high, this is now the third week where we haven't posted a new high, and we are in a sideways consolidation. Roughly the range is between 475 on the downside, 545 on the upside. One would suggest to book partial profits. It's not a short, because if and when it overcomes 545 and closes above it, we'd see another spike up. But as of now, the longer it takes, that much more problem it's going to have it sustaining at higher levels. So we walked into a consolidation or a corrective phase. I'd say book partial profit, but not a short.
Okay, book partial profits, but it's not a complete short. Jubilant Life, so much news around this one. Firstly, the second quarter numbers. Revenues have managed to just about stay flattish at 2236 crores, but there has been a bit of an expansion on the EBITDA front. Margins have come in at 20.9% versus 20%, and that's something that has aided the bottom line, which has come in at around 249 crore rupees versus 210 crore rupees. But of course, the big news is also with respect to the demerger, which we at ET Now had told you first about. It's going to demerge the life sciences and the pharma business. So pharma business will have pharma, of course, drug discovery services and proprietary drug discovery businesses. Remember, we had broken this demerger story back on the 16th of October itself. Now, Shyam Bhartia has said that the proposed demerger will ensure depth and focus to adapt necessary strategies for growth and, of course, unlock shareholder value. Macquarie believes that Jubilant pharma business alone is worth 600 to 650 rupees per share. But stock price today is a bit quiet, 2.8% gone. And Pranay, NMDC, today the metal space certainly is in the green, even though we are not getting exactly positive cues from the commodity price markets. But yeah, what does Citi have to say?
Well, Citi has upgraded the stock to buy and also raised the target price to 125 from the earlier 95. What it basically believes is that the changes which we are seeing in the mining industry for the next year will really benefit the company, and based on their forward-looking estimates, they have upgraded the stock. Yes, you are right that recent months have not been great for the metal industry, but positive sentiment on progress around the US-China trade deal is something that has had a rub-off for the entire metal sector, and NMDC also is partly benefiting on the back of that besides this report.
Okay, that it is 111 rupees for this one. Samya, Ujjivan, what exactly is an update over there? Some not very great news for the company.
Well, yes. In fact, there were reports saying that the RBI has raised certain red flags as far as Ujjivan Small Finance Bank's processes and systems is concerned. In fact, today earlier during the day, in fact, we had Ujjivan clarifying and refuting all such media reports, saying that RBI does their normal inspection, and there were certain observations which were pertaining to operations of the company, and there were no red flags as of now as far as Ujjivan Small Finance Bank is concerned. In fact, after this, the stock prices have recovered slightly from the day's low, but as of now, it's still trading in red.
All right. Well, yeah, completely off the day's low. It's 0.25% higher now. Himen, let's talk about GIC, because yet again the insurance stocks and all of them are moving together simultaneously higher. GIC now in fact 5% higher. More room for an up move here. This is GIC insurance, not housing.
Yes, I'd have a hold, stop loss 290, target 310. We're in a short and medium term uptrend. We don't have too much of data, but whatever data we have seems to suggest that we are comfortably ensconced in an uptrend. 290 is the recent swing high. A close about 290, I think, should see another move to 315 or so. So looks good. A hold, probably a buy on decline.
All right, and stock number 20, Supreme Industries, second quarter numbers where things have been a bit skittish on the top line front. The decline of 4% is what we have seen on the revenue at 1,270 crore rupees. But I think they've made up for that by putting in a good margin and profit performance. So margins have expanded 18.6% versus 16.4%. And yet again, the profit after tax the growth of there has outpaced that of the EBITDA. I suppose it may have got to do with the fact that the margins, or rather the corporate tax cuts, have really played their part over here. So profit after tax has actually grown 18%. The stock price, however, is a bit skittish. It's down by 2% in trade. Well, with that, we have completed the countdown of 20 stocks. So Pranay and Soumya, thank you for joining in with the stocks and news. Heymen, to you as well for sharing your technical views on individual stocks.